Hey guys, it's Melissa Martini with Melissa Martini Designs. I am back again today with another beginner tutorial series and also another look at some of the fonts featured in this month's Two Ladies font bundles. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we have went ahead and opened up our Silhouette Studio. And let's say you're doing a new project. If you look at the mat right now, you can see in the background the Silhouette mat, and then you can see our actual workspace, which is this white area. If you're doing a new project and it opens like a little bit wonky or weird and you want to fix that, up here on the right hand side, you're going to click your page setup. Now right here we have a custom size which you can fix here, or if you use this drop down, you can choose letter, you can choose the 12 by 12 which will fill the whole mat. You can go through and there's different label sizes, or you can just do your own custom size. We're going to stick with 12 by 12 for today. Now you also have your orientation, which won't really show you on a 12 by 12, but you can change it from landscape to portrait mode right here. You can choose to show your cut border, which is this red line, and this will tell you if you design outside of this red line, it will not get cut, it will be left off. So you want to make sure that you are within the cut border. But if the red line is on and you're wondering how to get it off, you're just going to click right here and unclick the show cut border. Over here, we have our grid. So if this grid bothers you and you just want a white background, you can unclick Show Grid. If you like having the grid, have it show the grid. You can change the divisions. Right now, if we were to zoom in and we have our single square and there's 4 squares inside each space. So if you put that down to 1, then each square will actually be a square on the Silhouette mat. So if you're needing to measure out, just say you have a little piece of scrap vinyl and you know it needs to fit exactly 5 squares by 4 squares. Right here you can design within this space and know that you're going to be able to fit whatever your design is on that little scrap piece of vinyl. If you have upgraded your Silhouette, you can have crosshairs that you can turn on. This right here gives you a even up and down line if you need to make sure that something is aligned correctly. But if these are on and they're driving you crazy and you want to turn them off, it's also over here under page setup. So just click crosshairs and then they'll go away. So we'll take the grid off, take the crosshairs off. Also up here you see your ruler and you can hide that as well. If you don't want to see it, just click ruler and it will go away. Okay, so those are all the kind of fun things that are over here in page setup. We'll do registration marks another day, but I just wanted to show you some of the basic things that you could do in your page setup. Okay, so now we are going to go over here to our font box, click the text tool, and come over to text style. Actually, let me just type a little bit of text on our mat. I'm hitting Command A to select it all at once, and then I'm going to go over here to text style, and we're going to look at Lolabelle. And so I am just typing that in. The first thing we want to do is look at the glyphs that are available. If there are any, we are able to see all of the characters and alternates that are over here in the glyphs panel. So it has some fun little stylistic double letters on here. And we're going to do, let me just type out, grow old with me, the best is yet to be. Okay, and we're going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see what we have going on here. Now I do want to show you as you're typing, let's just say I kept typing on this line. On grow, there's plenty of space, but old with me, do you see how this blue bar is right here? So if I were to hit a space, and actually now it's not doing that. Let me do like this. Okay. Do you see how it's automatically going down to the next line? Let's just say that you wanted this line super long. You wanted, for whatever reason, this line to come all the way over here. But as you're typing, it just keeps bringing your line down, down, down. And you don't want to do that. You can grab this bar and just stretch it out. And when you stretch it out, it allows your words to go where you intended for them to go in the first place. So that's just a neat little trick, because you'll run into it occasionally where you're doing something and you say, why are my words wrapping like this? I don't like it to do that. I'm trying to do something specific and the machine is doing what it wants, and it's kind of frustrating. So just remember that little trick. If you ever run across that problem, just grab that little blue bar and drag it along. Okay, back over here to what we type. So we have the grow old with me, the best is yet to be. You can see, as we've talked about before, that these letters are running into each other. So if you were to send this to the silhouette, everything that's red is a cut line. Your blade will run across every single piece that's red. So that means that it would cut into this letter. So what you want to do is just right click and hit weld. And then you're going to hit Command G to group everything back together. Now let's say this font is a little bit thin for you, and you want to cut something out that's just a little bit thicker. We can use the offset tool, and what that's going to do is just make these lines a little bit thicker. It's over here on the right hand side. It's a star that has an outline around it, and you're going to hit offset. It's automatically going to be at 0.125. We'll just go in and change it. Let's say if we do 0.06 and hit apply, and if we zoom in a bit, you'll see now that there's a double line. Well, you don't want the double line. You just wanted your font to be thicker. So what we'll do is weld to make it one line. But you do want to pay attention to these little pieces to make sure you haven't offset too much. Inside this G, you would have to weed out this little tiny piece right here. So maybe 0.06 was too much of an offset for this particular design. So if you hit Command Z or Control Z, it'll take you back to where you began. You can go to offset again. And now let's do 0.002 or 0.006 instead of 0.06 and hit apply. So it's just going to make it a little bit thicker. If we zoom in, and this one barely affected it, but you can see it just makes it just a little bit thicker for you, but you still have a big enough piece to weed out here. So after you've done that, however you want to, just play around with the numbers, select everything, right click, hit weld again. So now it combines, and the line that you just added to the outside is now your new cut line outside of your design. And remember, after you weld, we only did that on the grow because it was all separated. So we're just going to select everything here, right click, hit weld, and hit Command G to group. Make sure that you're grouping things after you have welded them, that we can put them back together. If your spacing is okay, you can leave it as it is. You could go back in, ungroup it, and let's just group each piece together. And you always have this really fun bar that you can just turn and make things look a little bit wonkier, a little bit like you drew it by hand, where it's not all perfect and not all straight. So that's totally up to you. I mean, just have fun in here and be artistic and play around with your word spacing and where they are and what it all looks like to get a design that's uniquely you. Okay, up here on the top left-hand side, you have your color chart, so you can fill it in with color so you're able to see what it looks like and just decide if that's how you want it laid out on your sign or if you want to do it just a little bit differently. All right, guys, I think that will cover the tutorial for today. I know we go over some things that we've already been over a few times just to make sure that it gets in your head for all of the people that are just starting out. I want to make sure that these shortcuts and these, same things, welding, grouping, ungrouping, compound pass, highlighting, offsetting, it all is stuck in your head and you feel like you've done it 100 times, so it comes natural whenever you get on here to make things. If you guys have any questions at all, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I will link to the font bundle up above in the description. Have a great day, guys.